Okay, and the timer is on. Good morning, everyone. Today is February 17th. I have a pretty good one for you today. I'm just going to get straight into it because it was kind of traumatic. But I also want you guys to just know that God does speak. You just have to be willing to listen to his cues, to his warnings, okay, of things that are to come. I didn't know whether to start out with the actual reality of everything, but or the dream. So I'm just going to start with the dream, okay, because the dream did come first. I had the dream on, where's the date? February 16th, early in the morning. Okay, so just yesterday, early in the morning, maybe about 1:30, 2 o'clock-ish. And in the dream, I had just taken a test. Okay. And I remember while taking the test, I was not really that focused on it. I was kind of daydreaming and looking around, and then I would do an answer. And then I would look around some more. And I just wasn't focused. I remember that in the dream because I remember saying, oh God, I can't even concentrate on the task. And I said, well, let me go ahead and finish this up and just turn this in. And then the dream switched to a stark white room. And behind the desks were nurses, and they had on all white. And just so you guys know, I'm a nurse, okay, for 22, going on 23 years now, okay. But they were like busy moving around, picking up charts, talking and whatever. And I turned my test in, and I remember saying, well, I'm going to go to the restroom because it's going to take a while, because there were other people that had turned in their tests and they were waiting for their results as well. So I went on. I remember walking to the bathroom, but then the dream switched to me walking in the hallway. I was just wandering around, white walls, just looking around. And I said, oh yeah, let me get back and see if they got into my test yet. Dream switched again. I was standing at the counter. They had, someone called my name. I went to the counter, and after grading it, he said, you received an 88. And I was like, oh, okay, not bad. Okay. And the nurses were like, oh, good, she can come. But then there was a guy. He had on white, but he had on a black mask. Okay. He was just like shaking his head saying, no, I mean, you can come, but 88 is good, but it's not. And he said, but it's not. And he just kept shaking his head. And then he said, but I know you want to go to the surgical unit. I know you want to work on the surgical unit. And getting an 88 would not get you over to the surgical unit. And then I looked at him, and the other nurses were like, oh, well, she can come, well, come with us. And he said, no, she wants to go to the surgical unit. And he said, no. I mean, he was just shaking his head like, no. And I said, well, I can do better. I know I can. But I didn't focus and concentrate. So if I tell you that I will focus and concentrate, can I take the test over again? And he said, yes, you can. Then the dream ended. So I woke up maybe about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Okay. And if you notice, I'm kind of a little dreary. It's not the C word, okay? I just have a really bad cold. And I remember I had these I don't want to say the name because I don't know if you can say brand names, but it was a real big gel pill. And it was for cold, flu symptoms. And I said, okay, well, let me take this. And I remember looking at it, and I said, well, let me wet my mouth, my throat, because this is a big, huge gel pill. Excuse me. And I said, well, drink some water. So I drank some water, took a little swallow, and I put the pill in my mouth. And I said, ooh. Now my brain is saying, wait till later, wait till you really drink and, get some more moisture in your mouth, whatever. And I was saying to myself, oh no, it's okay. Pay attention. And So I put it in my mouth, and I went to drink the water. Guys, the pill lodged sideways. It got stuck in my throat and completely cut off my airway. Blocked it completely. I jumped up, water everywhere. My daughters heard me. One of my daughters heard me. And she just yelled, "Mommy!" And she came and she saw me, and I was pointing to my throat. Like, usually sometime when you may get water or whatever in your throat, you kind of cough, and they look and say, "Oh no, I'm okay." They're used to me waving and saying I'm okay. But this time, I was pointing to my throat, and I was saying, I was mouthing, "I'm choking." Now you can understand why my throat, or why my voice is like it is, because this just happened yesterday morning. Okay. So I was trying to get it up, and I just remember saying, "God, not like this, not like this, not like this." And my daughter, who is like 4'10", 4'11", she literally got behind me and tried to do the Heimlich, okay? And it wasn't working, but I coughed up just enough for it to move, because I felt the tiniest of air trying to get in, and I was able to mouth, "Get your uncle." In other words, get your uncle. So she ran to the basement. My brother is a police officer. That's why I knew to tell her to go and get, because they have training. And he came in. He said, "What's going on?" Because I heard a lot of noise, And I pointed to my throat, and I said, "Heimlich." I was saying, "Heimlich, Heimlich." And he said, "Heimlich," and he jumped behind me. Now, my brother's a bodybuilder as well. He's a professional bodybuilder. One of some things, okay? So, he's big. And he was just, performing, pressing. And it came up enough to where it turned a little, and I was able to talk. I was able to speak. And so I took my hand and I went to the back of my throat, and I felt it, and I was able to push it a little bit, which allowed, it was like saying half the airway. And I was able to talk, but you could tell it was still something blocked. So at that point, I told them just to call 911. And long story short, it took them a long time. Well, to me, it took them a long time. But in actuality, it was maybe between 5 to 7 minutes. And if you guys know, if there's a lack of oxygen to the brain between 8 to 10 minutes, then, that causes brain damage. But it didn't get that far, because at least I was able to get some air. Okay. But by the time they got there, now this is what I want you guys to hone in on. What I did not tell you was that the man who was at the counter with the black mask on, one of his characteristics of his descent was that he was Asian. And I knew that because his eyes were slanted. Okay, he had the slant eyes. The police officer that showed up, they wear black out here. He had on a black mask, and his eyes were slanted. He was of Asian descent. He was talking to me, and while he was talking to me, I could feel the pill started to dissolve just a little. It took a few hours, just so you guys can know, because I still felt it. I didn't have to go to the emergency room because it did slide down, but you have to eat bread and all that stuff to try to get it down. So I felt a trip to the emergency room really wasn't warranted, because with everything that's happening in the hospitals now, I would probably just sit there for 10 to 12 hours because of what is happening. But I was able to get it down. Long story short, that is something how the dream became the reality. And what I want you guys to know is this. The dream was saying focus. It was saying pay attention. It was telling me to pay attention. Okay? I just wanted to hurry up and just take the pill before I got up out the bed to go and get dressed. I knew better. My focus wasn't there. I didn't pay attention. Okay? We know what the white represented. We knew what the white represented. He gave me another chance. Okay, he gave me another chance. And the reason why I titled the video the way I did is that God always speaks. Don't ever think he's not speaking to you. Don't ever think he's not speaking to you. It can be a symbol of something. It could be a sign, a billboard sign. It could be something that you read and some words will jump out at you. But you're so busy looking for something big, like a big descending clouds, or some birds landing in front of you and chirping in your face. You know, stuff. No. If that happens to others, that's fine. But if it's not going to happen to you, it may happen to you in a different manner. And it may come in a manner that is much more in a connection to you. Just like I told you, I'm a nurse over 20 years. I was literally standing at a nurse's station. There were nurses. They were standing there. Okay, hold on. There was a call trying to come through. Didn't recognize the number. But yeah, look for the little things. My focus was off. I didn't listen. And the man that was studying at the counter, he was just shaking his head. No. No. In other words, no. This is not good enough. Get back out there. And you can do better. Meaning that I know I've been slacking a little bit. Okay. I can do better. It's time for me to get on my A game. Okay. I was one of those that charged out, but these last 3 to 4 years have been just horrific for me. He's telling me it's time to get back out there. Okay. So let this be some encouragement to you that God is speaking to you. Stay in prayer. I'm doing okay, guys. I'm fighting a really, really bad cold. I'm over the worst of it, but my throat is still a little sore from yesterday. As a reminder to focus and pay attention. And you knew better than to take that dry pill in your dry mouth like that. And thank God for my daughters, because both my daughters, my other one got up and she was just saying, okay, what do we do? What do we do? She actually was one who was getting ready to call 911, but my brother was already on the phone with them. So I told her to hang up. And my baby, that was my baby. She's my miracle baby. I'm going to tell her story one day as well, with her permission. She is truly a miracle baby. She was behind me trying to give me the Heimlich, my baby. I ain't going to start crying. I'm not going to cry. But I always say to her, that's the baby. But guys, be blessed. Be well. Be safe. Listen. Eyes, ears open, focus. Okay, this is the season. He's giving you another chance. I can't tell you how many chances from near death, literally near death. This is probably about the 5th or 6th near death. And 2 of them in my teenage years were attempted suicides. Yes, I have a testimony. Okay, I love you guys with the love of Christ. It's time to get on our A game. Our A game. God is ready. He's moving. He says it's not time yet. So if anybody is thinking to themselves, Lord, just take me, I'm tired, because I am there, or at least I was there, God is saying not yet. Get back out there and get on your A game. There's more to you, for you, and I'm going to be right there in the trenches. Just take that one step. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.